Just talking? Well, what's the show about? About nothing.
But I was thinking of like the movie Mannequin. And when you say that, every time I hear Mannequin, just that movie.
Mannequin
that's
be
like
thy
one
name.
of my favorites too,
Yes.
dude. Yeah, that's young Andrew McCarthy.
Yup.
Yeah.
And
That's
the
who.
girl from Sex and the City, I forgot her name though.
Yeah.
You know what we were talking about before this. I think we maybe have gotten in the intro, but like when as being older and trying to remember things,
Yes.
and things just meld together. Like
yeah.
you're saying Mannequin, but I'm picturing Weird Science.
Oh, okay.
And that's what I'm thinking in my head. Like I'm picturing Weird Science. I'm like, wait,
I love Weird Science
I'm
too.
getting lost.
Yeah. That girl from Weird Science, which I don't really think she was on anything afterward. Maybe a few things, but very insignificant roles because she was just sort of like a model, not really any acting
She was just like
chops.
placed in there as stereotypical hot girl.
Yeah, which that's 80s.
Yeah.
80s. That was a requirement.
Yep.
But
the 80s will be canceled.
Eventually it'll get there.
Damn, that is so ridiculous. But that's kind of like the truth of the way things are moving,
Yep.
I think that anything from like before now is just going to be canceled pretty much.
Well, dude, did you see that they this is a tangent, but we were watching Rush Hour the other day and they put a disclaimer before the movie played that it was pretty much said this movie was made at different times, and there's some language in there. That's
this is BW before woke.
Yeah.
What?
Because how he Chris Tucker imitates Asian people all the time.
yeah. No way.
And then Jackie Chan says, "What's up, my?"
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't think these things need.
I know. I don't think they need it, but
retconned.
Yeah, you don't need to like preface anything or prepare someone. I think that's the great revealer of a book, a movie, songs. That's just they're meant to be consumed and then digested however they're going to be digested. You can't tell someone, just to let you know, you might be scared. So just don't do that. It's ruining the whole idea of the movie, it's an experience, where you get from it as an individual. Not everyone else has the same experience.
And I think you have a point with the idea of like a book. Like, are they going to like put disclaimers before? Maybe they have. Now I think about it.
There's a few I've
before,
heard of.
like Mark Twain or different ones like that, where like he uses some pretty,
I don't think anyone or anything is immune to cancel culture.
Nothing is safe. You're right.
Yeah, didn't they just remove the statue of Thomas Jefferson from?
I was gonna say Statue of Liberty.
No.
Statute of limitations.
The statue of Thomas Jefferson from New York.
Really?
Standing there for 100.
And they put one up of George Jefferson.
He really moved on up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like last week they took it down. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. They petitioned the city council and the city council voted on it. Said yes, it is like offensive, so they took it down.
Wow.
Interesting. Like,
because he had slaves and he slept with a lot of the slaves and stuff like that.
Yeah,
what are we gonna do?
wild.
We're like, nope. History did not happen before 1972. Like,
Yeah. They moved it to the Smithsonian or the museum there.
Okay.
They did that.
Okay.
so I think maybe I can be on board with something like that. Like, if you're saying like this historical figure, whatever, what did some unapproved of things,
Mhm.
but still is a historical figure. Therefore, the statue belongs in a museum. I could maybe see that point. Like, I can be a little like, I'm not 100% on, but I can see that more so. Like even like, because I mean, you think about it, like they have the what do they call it? The what are the ones that the museums like about the Holocaust?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like. And those serve a purpose, right? Like,
Sure.
I mean, you're not celebrating the Holocaust or anything like that, but they're in a museum to kind of remember and kind of.
This was happening in our history.
Yeah, so
and that makes sense. It changing the times, anyways. So
yeah,
I think that I may be a little naive here, but I think that all history should be just preserved for everyone to just to continually learn about, you
Yeah.
know, like
Yeah.
we have to like know where
Can't
we
forget
fall
about
short,
Yeah.
you know, and learn from all these mistakes. I thought that's what they were there for.
Exactly. Like
When we're learning history.
if the history isn't there, like how are you going to be able to critique it to find out like, okay, that was wrong.
It's
you know?
that fine line, you know, like, hey, don't hate, but you have to teach someone what hate is first for them to understand it.
Yeah.
You know, like that's reality of this, you know, like
Yeah.
it's sad and it's scary and it's weird and it gets dicey very quick, but you have to teach someone what racism is before they can learn how to stop it.
Yeah.
You know, otherwise they don't know what it is and they just, you know, they can think like, I'm not a racist. Meanwhile, they are a racist, you know, it's
Yeah.
just because they've never been taught a certain way. So you can't hide everything is what I'm saying. You can't
It's
just
weird.
brush it under the rug and say it doesn't exist.
Yeah, because I feel like that's like a two-edged sword. I don't know, maybe just because like if like say you're teaching kids now that grow up in this society that maybe has progressed. Well, we haven't, of course, but like say if we get to a society that progresses past racism,
Mm-hmm.
and then you teach kids what racism, you're teaching them what it is. Whereas if they go through life not knowing what racism is, then
Interesting. Yeah, that's
weird.
That's an interesting point.
It's
That's
like,
a good thought experiment. I like
yeah,
that.
It really
yeah,
is.
That's what it is. Yeah,
It
it's
really
like saying
is.
it's like a blind person born blind saying the N-word, but to them it's like they don't know the difference, right?
Right. Because there's no
Ooh.
color attached.
Yeah,
There's no, you know, you can't judge it in that manner, which you're right. Racism, I know. See that word right there.
Yeah.
When I threw it in a moment ago, first I was saying hate and then I changed it to racism. I didn't
went down that
necessarily
slippery
want-
slope.
that's why. Because I already knew I had something because I've got it in the back of my pocket
Yeah.
too. To talk about racism, there's certain things, but you're right because
I always keep racism close.
you know, well, because it's a really touchy subject,
yeah,
and
yeah,
I always want to. I've like a lot of intelligent people tried to figure out how to change it and how to escape it and how to conquer it. You know,
Yeah.
and one of the things is like what you said. What if you don't know? You know, what if you've never been introduced to it? Like one of the things that I do try to say is, you for racism in particular, not just hatred or some other facets of personality traits or whatever, but with racism in particular, I feel like we have to bury it. It's a weird thing, but I feel like it's one of those things where the less we talk about it, the more it exists. Or the less we talk about it, the less it exists. That's the way to say it, I guess.
I mean, the only
Because the more you keep saying, "Hey, remember you can't be racist. Hey, remember you can't be racist," you're just constantly reminding them that racism is a thing. But if you want to conquer it and get past it,
yeah,
it's
a weird thing.
It's hard
because it's like not a,
and see, these aren't real.
yeah.
like,
It's a
real
piece of
thought-out
history
thoughts. It's half
that's
thoughts.
like really bad, and maybe we shouldn't forget. You know what I mean? But then, in a sense, it's like maybe we should forget. I don't know, or teaching like teaching future generations. Like
I think you're right. I think
it's a weird one, dude.
I think once you get to if you're to a point where, like, say, in this idealistic future where we're past racism, you can look back on, like maybe the antebellum South or something like that with the slave trade and stuff and be like, this was the past, and you can teach it kind of like the way I'm kind of thinking about it is like the Holocaust museums.
Yeah.
Like, because everybody is almost universally in agreement, except for a couple crazy people,
Yeah.
that like
Yeah.
the Holocaust was bad and was horrible and is a horrible thing.
Yeah.
So we're all in agreement. So in that sense, we can have a museum about the Holocaust because we're
Just
all
not forget.
because we're all in agreement that was bad. So we know the reason why we're doing this is to memorialize
No, yeah, it
and
makes
to
sense.
like
Yeah.
you put it in perspective.
right.
Where like things like certain racism isn't quite wiped yet. So it's
Yeah, you're
we're
right,
kind of in
right.
that gray area where like we can't quite get rid, or you can't quite put it in historical context where we're just learning from it,
Yeah.
but we can't quite push it away or something because it isn't at that idealistic future where we're past racism.
For sure. It's tough. I think another 100 years at least,
Yeah.
until we've all kind
Evolved.
of like meshed together and became a super culture or super race, I should say.
So we're just all beige.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, exactly. And which is what will happen eventually, you know?
It's funny,
Give us
yeah.
another 200 plus years and we're all going to be a certain type of
So
fan.
the only reason we get rid of racism is to actually get rid of race. Like,
Yeah,
that's-
exactly. Yeah. I mean,
That's-
think about it. I mean, the only other thing is gonna evolve in. I mean, it's already around, but classism. You know, it's just gonna be
Yeah.
that.
That's true. It'll be a different.
There's
thing that we
always gonna be
focus on.
something because we're fucking humans. You
And
know,
that's it. There's always a feud, you know, or there's always something
Yeah.
to debate on.
aliens just come and take us out. You
Yeah.
know, that's it.
Check out full episodes of the Strange Noise podcast on Spotify. Episodes also available on your favorite podcast platform.